Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today with a Metro Exodus news update. Today we're going to be talking about how hardcore this game exactly will be, and apparently the developers of Metro Exodus 4A games are leaning towards a more hardcore direction. The source of information for this is an interview by Game Informer as they continue their month-long coverage of Metro Exodus, and I will have that linked in the description down below. So I'm going to be highlighting various quotes and things that stuck out to me in this brief, almost 3-minute interview. Metro has always been known for a more hardcore edge to their games, such as the limited ammunition. There's always been a heavy atmosphere. It's been a very dramatic game in many ways. So will that continue on? The creative director says that he doesn't care who will play this game and hopes that if they make a game they like, others will like it as well. I've always been a big fan of this design philosophy in any type of game, that I feel like if you just focus on making a good game, that it often will sell. That's not always a guarantee though. We've seen a lot of good games out there completely flop or underperform entirely, so I understand why developers try to avoid it, but this is always a design philosophy I can personally get behind. The creative director also says that they're going for a more hardcore experience with this game, and he wants to increase the survival elements. Sadly, in this interview, they don't really go beneath, they don't go deeper than that. They don't go a layer deeper and try to figure out exactly what these survival elements are. I think they're saving to talk about it later in 2018, maybe around E3, save it for a big info dump or something along those lines. But all we know is they are going for a more hardcore experience, and we can talk exactly about that and speculate how they could do so. Which makes you wonder, because they're getting rid of the bullet economy, which was a hardcore mechanic in the game because it was something you had to balance, and with that gone, how is it getting more hardcore? Because we've only seen so far the removal of certain hardcore elements. Not to say that the game is definitely now less hardcore, but that's all we've seen so far. So I'm curious to see how exactly they are turning this into the more hardcore experience they're claiming it is. They also are careful to mention that obviously people who don't want a very hardcore experience can still enjoy the game thanks to various difficulty levels. So Metro's always been known for having a difficulty called Ranger Mode, which really ups the ante and makes it an entirely different game. That's to say that if you don't want to play on that, you want to play on the easy or normal difficulty and have a pretty general experience with it and not constantly watching for one-shot kills or scraping by with the smallest amount of ammunition, you don't have to play that way. To top on what they were talking about earlier with a more hardcore experience and increasing the survival elements, the executive producer claims that it's hard to show what they're working on. It's easy to make a flashy trailer, but you can't show the atmosphere or all the elements in the game that way, and there'll be another time for that. So like I said, it seems they're holding back for 2018. They say that there is a lot underneath the surface, there's a lot going on in this game, and that there are hardcore elements there. They don't simply explain why, and I think that's because they're going to have a separate video highlighting all the hardcore elements that are going to be in the game. I mean, we've seen a bit of that. For example, during the Game Awards trailer, we see Artyom sitting by a campfire, and I do wonder if that means we have to seek out heat at some point in time, and we can't just openly explore certain areas. We have to balance out things like that. I am very curious to see what these more hardcore elements are going to be, and I'd love to hear your speculation on that in the comments down below, so fire away, ladies and gentlemen. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active, I love you all, peace.